Hey, welcome to today's episode in our podcast series we have going on. My name is Bryce. With me is you gonna say your name?
Sure.
Yeah, and today we have a couple different topics about growing your accounting, your bookkeeping business, and just life in the accounting profession. When you're trying to grow, you're trying to improve your standard of life, you're trying to make a better life for yourself, your family, and the next generation. Let's talk a little bit about we just came back from a trip about a week and a half ago, I think.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
maybe talk about like a recap or what happened for you.
Actually, that was a really good trip. It started out kind of rough because things weren't exactly like we planned. But once we got going and we saw the logistics of where we were, I think that it turned out to be a really good trip. Overall, the whole purpose was really to kind of get away, kind of relax and kind of regroup and make some decisions about where we want to go moving forward. What I kind of got out of that trip were a couple of different things. One, I was able to relax, kind of rest my mind, rest my body, and just kind of recoup and kind of reminisce about where we've come from and where exactly we want to go. The other reason that we went down there was because I was actually looking for a property, a rental property, to purchase down there. Florida housing market is extremely expensive. It's actually comparable, when you start getting, for the majority of Florida, actually, it's very comparable to California and New York prices. So whereas my home here in Michigan, probably to find something like that down in Florida, it's probably about double the cost. So just to at this point in time to get a rental property down there, probably not a wise decision. So we'll continue to look. I definitely want to move down to the Florida market and purchase something, if not an Airbnb or rental property, something that I can live in half the year or something like that. But at least we had a chance to look at some different areas. There's a lot of cities, a lot of country down in Florida. You wouldn't really think so, but we found that Central Florida is very rural, right? So you would find like little pockets, little villages, but not this big metropolis area like you would find down in Miami. So the market is still there. We're still going to continue looking, but it's not going to be as quick to move as what we originally thought it was.
Mm.
But overall, it was a good trip. I think we came up with some good ideas about where we want to move forward this year and even right now. So coming back, I think one of the things that we talked about doing was starting our training videos, our tutorial videos. Where do you think that is right now?
Yeah. So that's a good point. Really thinking about like what we're gonna try and do with this channel, right? Because we have the podcast as well as we're going to have tutorials, as well as we're also building out like a more of like a how to learn accounting and bookkeeping
Mhm.
sort of course, right? So on the channel, we're planning on doing about anywhere between about 50 to about 150 little tutorial videos like how to do different things like in QuickBooks, accounting 101, bookkeeping 101. That's going to help someone who's never done accounting and bookkeeping be able to know exactly what the skill sets and what are the steps they need to do in order to strategically take on a client, right? Because that's a big thing that we have, especially like when it comes to like the mentorship program. Like people will come, they'll be like, I want to start this business. I want to start making money. I see you guys, I have your accounting firm and whatnot, but how am I able to do that if I don't have those skills, right?
Right.
And in a lot of cases, like people don't really know that one thing in the mentorship programs, we basically teach you how to do accounting and bookkeeping from scratch. Now, some people like they are a lot further away from being able to take on a client than others. So in the past, we've done is we'll do your QuickBooks training, and then for the mentorship program time frame officially starts once you're able to take on a client.
Right.
So the transition we're going to start doing is, you can learn QuickBooks inside this program. It's gonna be extremely affordable. It's gonna be stupid affordable, to be honest with you. And it's gonna really give you guys no reason why anyone can't just purchase the program. Like it'll be under $500, like we're thinking. It's gonna have every single thing that you need to know. And then once you've completed that, you're ready to start taking on clients. Then you can start, upgrade into like the regular membership program, so you're able to grow your business. But that's kind of where we're leading on this channel, just putting out a bunch of free value, putting out a bunch of training content. If you don't want to pay, like, I think it'll be like $150 maybe for the course, you can still get a lot of value out of that free channel because there's just so much volume. of videos and training.
Right.
We wanted to almost be like this like resource slash library where if anyone ever has a question, they can just type it into the channel, automatically will shoot out the videos, and then they'll be able to like go. I think one thing we're gonna do as well is we're gonna have like either like a Google document or maybe even on like the new website that we're gonna maybe build, have like a list of all the different videos,
Mhm.
like in the order that we would maybe
Right.
watch it. Um, I think if it's already in the order that we're gonna watch it, might as well. That's basically the course, right? Because
Right.
it tells you the order and stuff. But I think that we should have some sort of like FAQ kind of setup to where the person can like watch the first video and find it. They can go to like the it's called help desk, right? They
Right.
can type in that question, automatically pulls up the right video at the right time for them. So if they already have like maybe one client, or if they're like in training for the QuickBooks certification,
Mhm.
they can pull up the information they want at that right moment in time and just like watch the videos,
Right. Right.
right? So I think that's kind of what we're building towards.
That's a really good idea. I'm really excited about doing these training videos. Part of the reason why I'm so excited is because, I've been in finance and accounting for 25 plus years. I hate to say that, I'm kind of aging myself, but it's a good opportunity for me to kind of give back everything that I've learned over the years. I've been in public accounting, I've been in private, I've been in all different types of industries. I've worked with multiple types of software. I've worked with software that started, 20 years ago and it's evolved so much. Like I worked with QuickBooks 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And QuickBooks Online now versus where it was 20 years ago is completely different. So I've been able to use the different phases of QuickBooks as it's improved, as it's grown, as it's developed. So it's really going to be interesting to actually put these videos, put this knowledge down in videos so that other people can benefit from it. So I'm really looking forward to doing this.
Yeah, yeah, because not a lot of people knew that. Like, for the mentorship program, if someone wanted to learn QuickBooks, you'd be the person I send like people to, like within
Mhm.
it, right? So like you'd be sitting down with like Audrey, with Asia. I remember when you sat down with Angie, with both Angies actually, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of like broke down how to do it, right? Just really inspiring that confidence in them. Because like there's a couple different tiers of people who need help when it comes to QuickBooks, right? So that complete beginner who's never done any accounting or bookkeeping, those ones they need a very solid foundation, very organized kind of structure. But
Mhm.
then there's also the people where it's like, they have experience in corporate America doing accounting or bookkeeping, but they don't really know what is like that minimum viable skill set, the MVS,
Right.
minimal viable skill set that they need in order to successfully take on a client.
Mhm.
Because right, because like as soon as they start a business, there becomes like this like huge like, I guess it's kind of like a confidence kind of
Right.
gap that develops, right? They don't really know exactly what bookkeeping means.
Right.
That's the other thing. Like they might be doing accounting and bookkeeping and finance in corporate America, but when they start a bookkeeping business, like what is bookkeeping actually?
Right.
Like where does bookkeeping, start, and where does the accounting start? Like where's that kind of divide?
Mhm.
Right. The other thing, it's like it's either bookkeeping or like tax returns. And it's like there's so many other services
Right.
within there, right?
Right.
So I think that's gonna be really cool. I think that it's gonna give us like not really a chance to define what that stuff is. So I think that's gonna be good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think along with the videos is also going to be a lot of confidence boosters. People really need to be comfortable with doing the accounting and be comfortable in knowing that they really do know what they are doing. I think that a lot of times people they kind of go through the motions and you don't even realize what you're doing until somebody else points it out to you that hey, you really do know what it is that you're doing. So going along with these training videos is also supporting everyone, supporting the individuals and letting them know you really can do this. You really do understand the bookkeeping. You really do understand what the next step is. And the other thing too is that we're going to be able to help people take that step back. Because a lot of times with bookkeeping and with accounting, you can get so involved in the detail that you don't get a chance to take that step back and look at the big picture. So also looking forward to with these training videos, as you grow, as the knowledge grows, you're going to be able to take a step back and you're going to be able to look at the bigger picture and you're going to develop the skills a lot better.
yeah, yeah. I think we should have like some sort of like quiz
Mm,
at the end of like other every module, under every like kind of thing, just so they can like have something to compare to and almost give it like a standard,
okay.
right? So then you have something to compare to where it's like in order for you to take on clients, you need to be at least a 5 out of
Yep.
10 here. a 3 out of 10 here, a 10 out of 10 here. So they at least know like that minimum viable skill set is
Mhm.
to get that confidence. I think that might be something very
Oh, good
interesting
idea.
to add.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think that might
I
be
really
interesting.
like that idea. That's a really good idea. I mean, just like in school, right? That's how you know that you really kind of understood what it is that they were trying to teach you is
Yeah.
by doing that little quiz. And that'll also help boost the confidence. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and if we can take the pressure off of getting the answers right versus like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
If we yeah, we can I think some people would like that because they like, taking tests and the pressures of tests. And for the people who don't like the pressure of tests, maybe we can have some sort of like, I don't know if it's like, either mindset shifting around that or maybe like that, where it's like it's not like it's a test, it's just it's
Right.
a progress kind of like I don't know, something like that.
To show them that maybe you need to spend a little bit more time in this area,
Mhm.
or you know this a little bit more better than what you think you do.
Mm,
So that's really what a test is that it's not quote unquote a test. It is a progress. It's
mhm.
a progress statement that say that maybe you should spend some more time, or no, you got this. It's time to move on.
Yeah, because we could probably even have like the result of the quiz software say, if you got this question wrong, watch more videos like
Hmm.
this, right? This topic, right? And then, for
Hmm.
example, start here, start here, start here, start here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm, that might be interesting.
Hmm. That would be
Yeah,
challenging to do that because then you'd have to do almost like a matrix,
well, they have that in the quiz softwares nowadays.
oh, do they?
Yeah, because because Google Sheets could do something like that, but also like yeah, we can just get like a type form or like something like that where it's like conditional
Hmm.
outcomes.
Okay.
So yes, we can definitely do that. It's just everything comes back like when it comes to like a QuickBooks training is organization, right?
Right.
That's the key. So having like that keeps going back to that document, we need to have some sort of like roadmap where people can see like from start to finish.
Hmm.
I think even within 6FF, right, that roadmap was the thing that helped a lot of students. 6FF, it just stands for like the mentorship program. For those of you who don't know, like when they come in, they can see like you do this, you do this, you do
Okay.
this on day one, it's like this on day three, you should be here on day, right? Given those expectations.
Hmm.
I think when it comes to YouTube channel tutorials, like we're going to need to so one thing that can help a YouTube channel grow really fast, right, is not just the videos, right? Because we have everything can be SEO based. That means people are going to be searching for the tutorial videos, to help them on specific things.
Hmm.
But then the second thing that's gonna happen is like watch time. So someone can consume the whole tutorial. That's going to show YouTube that the video is very like helpful, right? You can do that by having a really great long video. We can do it by having like an average short video. Like, the video's only 3 minutes long. We can
Right.
get people to stay for at least 2/3 of it,
Hmm.
right? That's going to send
Oh,
so
okay.
YouTube some good things. But then if we could also interlink to either the next video or a video
Mm.
that's slightly related to it, right? So now they watch 2 minutes of here, they watch 3 minutes of the next one, they watch 3 minutes of this one, right? Now they're already at what is that, eight total minutes of watch time.
Right. Right.
And our channel just keeps getting recommended to more and more and more of those people. So
Right. So would you like have a quiz and then click here to move
well,
on to the next, or
this is just on the channel. This is separate
oh,
from the
okay.
course.
Okay.
Yeah, because well, we could have the course actually have like the videos from the course housed on YouTube. So actually, yeah, we could do that
Hmm.
actually. That could be something. It's just like the course will be like the organized version of that, and then maybe have like bonus mod or something. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
We'll have to see because like sometimes people don't really want to have the course videos be the same as like the YouTube videos. So maybe we'll make separate videos that are like unlisted that the regular public can't see, but it'll
Okay.
still be on YouTube, driving up that watch time for the channel.
Okay. On the same topics or different topics,
It'll still be
or
on,
maybe out of order topics.
it'll still be on QuickBooks. I haven't really thought about it, but it's
Okay.
like it just depends. Like sometimes YouTube has that weird kind of connotation.
Okay.
But I mean, $150, like, what does it matter where the course is stored? You know what I mean?
True.
So let's
True.
see. Like, if someone doesn't like that, like, oh, I could watch the same videos on YouTube. So okay, cool. You can have a refund and put you on a blacklist. Don't talk to me. You know? Go away.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that kind of goes into the topic like employee mindset, right?
Right.
We always thought employee mindset is it's kind of like the catch-all term we use for like the mindsets, habits, behaviors, and activities that a person kind of partakes in that they've been trained to partake in throughout years of brainwashing in corporate America, right? Like when you start transitioning into being a business owner, whether it's like, a side hustle, part-time, full-time, invest like there's a different lifestyle, it's a different way of thinking, it's a different way of being that allows you to be very successful in your business, and which doesn't really correlate to what it takes to be successful in corporate America,
Absolutely.
right? Because like for example, like sometimes we look at people who are thinking about doing the mentorship program, but their pattern of decision is just one of procrastination.
Hmm.
It's like, well, how long you been thinking about starting a business? Well, I just got started my business about like, 2 weeks ago, a month ago. Okay. And then like I guess when did you start thinking about starting a business? Oh, I've been thinking about on and off for like, 5 years.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean 5 years? Well, I've been thinking about it for 5 years. It's like we're not making fun of people when we say that. It's just you see those behavior patterns,
Yeah.
right? And whenever I hear someone saying like they've been thinking about starting for 5 years, 10 years, 11 years, they almost never do the mentorship program, right? But then you check in with them like 6 months, a year, 2 years later, because we've been doing the mentorship program for a number of years now. So we're able to follow up with the people who don't, get started with the mentorship program right away. They're still in the exact same place. It's the exact same excuses.
Right.
Like we're using it's like time management. It's like, well, wait. So you've been thinking about starting a business, but you don't know how to manage your time. So you think that by not doing a program to manage your time, you're gonna somehow improve your ability to manage your time? And then they come back, it's like time management. Like, what?
What does that mean?
Yeah, and it's just like it really comes down to like people ask like some of the people on like the call when it comes to like how are you able to get success or how are you able to success, like what was the difference in your like lives, like why are you guys able to make a pretty good amount of money. I mean like this year like we made you did 510, I did a pretty good amount. I mean
The year's not over yet,
it's
right?
true, we're at about anywhere between 800 to about a million, and
Just for the year.
just for this year.
Right,
Right.
right.
Go back to 2015, that's when you were almost bankrupt,
Yep.
you know, I was still trying to get the accounting firm started, like, the first time,
Hmm.
and, like, what our combined revenue for that year in 2015 was a combined probably 6,000, if that.
It was very dismal that year.
It was a combined, like, $6,000 in
Yeah,
total, right?
that was a
Fast
tough year.
forward, what is that? 7 years later, we're at about $1 million combined with our incomes from this year,
Mhm.
and it's just kinda like, just that difference. People are like, "What's that difference? What's the difference?" Like, well, number one, like, when I didn't know what to do, I invested in courses.
Right,
And like some people are like, well, I invested in a course, but it didn't work. Okay, that's normal,
right.
right? Most people when they invest in a course, number one, the way that they decide on a course is incorrect, right? Because they're going after the course that's flashy.
Mm.
They're going after that biggest course in the industry where it's like you can break it into payments of like $100 a month, right? Like there's a couple programs in the market like for accountants and bookkeepers, right? And it's like I'm not really gonna name the names, but if they're around 2,500 to $3,500, right? And you can split into payments of 197 to $200, it's probably because it's so big they don't really care if you get results or if you even finish paying your payment,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So when you have that, then you're able to just really know like it's probably number one, it's probably not customized or tailored enough to the person to actually get results, right? Because they're going on a volume play.
Hmm.
But if you buy a course and you make a mistake, again, it goes back to employee mindset.
Right,
Then they
right,
want to try one thing, and if it doesn't work, then
right.
business doesn't work for them.
Right. They're
Vers
expecting a home run. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is that people expect to hit a home run every single time. How many millionaires have you heard say that, how many businesses went bankrupt? You
Mhm.
can't expect to hit a home run every time, but that doesn't mean that you stop trying, right? You've got to keep going, but you got to do something first. You've got to do something. You've got to take failure with success. It's all part of growing a business. I think back on the way that you got started because you were starting with some things and you had a little bit of success and all of a sudden it went bankrupt, right? And then what did you do? You pulled yourself back together, chartered a new course, and started going again. Your second one was only moderately successful. You did have some success, but it was only moderately successful. What'd you do? Regroup, kind of focus again, and go off again. Now here we are. So
Yeah.
you can't expect to hit a home run every single time, but you can't let little things stop you either.
Yeah. That's a good point actually, because like we'll even add another topic. I'll tell you about the story when I went to get the massage today. The sun, yeah, but yeah, that's actually really really important too, right? Because it's like they're looking for the home run. They're afraid of failure, which if you're starting a business, like failure takes on a different kind of like meaning and like and thought process because like when you're in a business you're constantly rather than failing it's more you're putting out a hypothesis,
Hmm.
you're testing upon those hypotheses, right, and you're increasing. Now if for example on a sales call you could do a sales call like a 5 out of 10, but in which is a failure in like school or like in traditional, but you run to the right person and the person buys,
Right.
right. And
Right.
then you can also do a perfect sales call, like everything's right, the pricing's right, and the person just has like these weird expectations about like how much accounting services should cost. So it's like you're never really going to escape failure. It's more like it's almost like imagine more of like of baseball or like golf. It's probably more like golf, where you're managing the total number of shots,
Mm.
right? You're managing failure. So learn how to manage failure enough to put yourself moving forward. For
Hmm.
a good example is, for example, when we first got started and like we were finally learning sales, we would have sales calls where on paper we would do it correctly,
Hmm.
but the person like they would get back to us like one of the we had a person sign up for the accounting firm. I think it was like back in February of this year, and the person's email literally goes in subject line, finally ready. The body of the email copy goes, hey, remember me, we talked 2 years ago, like it literally said 2 years ago on LinkedIn, I'm finally ready to do the service. And it was like in the moment it was weird because it was just like, why this guy not sign up? Like everything he said was like he should have signed
Right.
up. Like the pricing was good. He was already making like $1 million. Like she was making $1 million take home, right? And this business was like a consulting business. We were only charging like 750 a month, and it just didn't make any sense, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's just we for a while we were like, man, maybe our sales call was off,
Right.
right? Because we even had him like speak to references, and it was just like something's like what's wrong? But it just like
It just wasn't the time.
yeah, the guy just for whatever reason, some people just don't go. Like, of course, like we give you guys like sales scripts inside the mentorship program so that you're able to run the sales call to your best of your ability. And then if you just make sure that 9 out of 10 times you're speaking to a person who's number one ready to move now, number two has enough money to pay you, and then number three just really understands your value, they move forward really quickly. But there's always going to be that kind of like outlier who's
Right.
just just weird, right?
Right.
So that kinda happens too, and it's just like, really timing, right? Because
Right.
that's a big thing here with, like, employee minds is it's not the right time. Like, right now, we're kind of, like, in the holiday season of the year, end of the year, right? And the person's like, "I wanna get started in January." It's like, "Why would you get started in January? You've been saying that." I was like, "Okay, so you wanna get started in January. How long you been thinking about starting this business?" "Oh, probably about for about a year and a half." "Okay. So why would if you think you're gonna start in January, why would that be any different than last January or January before that?
Right.
Well, this time of year it's like just not good, like it's we have like I think it's like end of November when we're filming this. I don't know exactly when this video is gonna be released, right? But the person goes, I have, in-laws coming in during December. Okay, well, what specific days? Well, the third week of December. Okay. So it means you have 2 weeks to start, the LinkedIn process, right? And then if it's weeks number three and weeks number four, you're not really gonna be doing a lot, you can actually turn on the automation inside of LinkedIn to have it start building those relationships with the business owners that are going to be able to pay you money. And then when you are ready to come back, you just hit there's a certain campaign you do inside with the automation we just teach you, and it basically sparks all the people who have maybe been either on the fence or who are interested but haven't really displayed interest. Okay, so if you had done that, the 2 weeks of setting up, and then you have the automation, and when you're ready to get back in business and have that sense of urgency
Hmm.
on January 1st,
Yeah.
you just hit start with that campaign, and now you get 7, 8, 9, 10 clients, right?
Right. Everything's already primed, ready to go.
But if you start in January, there's nothing prime. Now you're building your momentum, and
Right.
you're already behind,
Right.
right?
It becomes like a New Year's resolution, right?
Yeah,
People make these New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to join a gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And they never do it. That's what that means to me when they say I'm going to start January 1st. That's just another procrastination and another excuse to say I'm not really ready to I'm not really serious about growing my business.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's never the right time. And
Right,
here's the interesting thing. If you have to wait until the right time in order to change your life,
right,
what's gonna happen when you're already making that decision to move and then everything kind of falls apart?
right.
If you can only start your business when the conditions are optimal, you're gonna crash just in life. Like you're gonna have a panic attack, you have a heart attack when things don't go exactly 100%, right? What happens when you're starting your business and, for example, a recession hits, right?
Right.
What happens if you can't start your business because it's your birthday, and then 3 months later is gonna be another holiday? What if you can't start your business because it's month end right now? Okay, well, you're gonna have month end every month. You're gonna have 12 more of those no matter what. Like,
Right,
what are you gonna do?
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Cannot look for an optimal time. There's just no such thing. You
yeah.
just have to do it. You just have to do it.
The real problem is running a business is easier when people think. Like, people think like it's this monumental, like life changing thing.
Right.
Right? That's the one. I either hear people think where like it's like they're just totally nonchalant. They think they're just gonna make $1 million their first year in business, or the opposite is like they think they're gonna have to put in 20, 40 hours a week to get their first client. Right?
That's true. That is true. We have both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
They do see it as this daunting task. They do see it as that's why I haven't done it before because, it's this big thing. It's this big unknown that I'm not real sure how to tackle.
Mm.
That's the other thing.
I think inside the course that they make for the QuickBooks training, we'll put section like how to start your business, and let's actually give them proper expectations.
Mm,
Like, okay, so how to make a business plan.
okay.
Right? So it's not gonna be like an official business plan, but it's more like what to expect in your first year. How much time should it take to reach your goal? How much, how many clients you need? What is a good price per client based on your experience? I think something like that could be really cool, right? The reason why we're doing that is because like sometimes like this doesn't happen as much anymore now that we have like really good marketing around the mentorship program. We used to get people on the phone, they would have no sales experience. They would have um never ran a business before. They're afraid to talk to people, and they get on the phone and say, "I have to make at least $30,000 a month."
Yeah.
I'm like, "At least?" Like they're just saying that
Like
blanket.
30,000.
Well, that's a good point. I was like, "Huh, okay." Um, it's not that we're trying to be mean. It's just like those people are not necessarily ready to be an entrepreneur. Not that you can't get $30,000 per month, but it's just like you have to understand that for anyone to make $30,000 per month, that is what is that? That's 320 a year.
Yeah.
That's 320 a year.
Yep.
That's less than 5% of the population make that much money.
Right.
Less than
360.
5%,
360 a year.
right? Yeah, 360. What did I say? 320?
Yeah.
360 a year, right?
Right.
That's even worse. That's almost the 1%. One
Right.
percent is about 450. That's probably 2-3%. Like
Okay.
the level of disrespect when it comes to, and yeah, it's just like, do you understand that it's not that a business is hard, it's that level of income with your current habits you have.
That's the key right there. It's the habit. There's nothing that says you can't do the 30,000, but you have to understand that there are certain things that have to be done in order to reach the 30,000,
Yeah.
right? Your habits right now, not again, not trying to down anybody. Your habits right now are really lazy. They do not contribute to you making 30,000 a month.
Well, I would even dictate like if you're gonna be lazy in your habits, then you have to be a little bit think more like an investor. Right, for example, like the same people say that they wanna make $30,000 per month with no work, they're almost always the people that never wanna spend any money on
Mm,
anything, right? They wanna consider it's like, okay, so you're working 40 hours a week in your job. You gotta make 30 hour or $30,000 per month, but you're not gonna wanna quit your job, okay? You're gonna, like, have someone do the work for you. No, you're gonna wanna do the work for yourself. Okay, well, when do you stop being able to do the work? That's probably gonna be at $15,000 per month.
right,
Right, okay, so cool, so now you're gonna be, like, capped at that level, but then you still wanna keep holding on to the money, it's like, you have to start thinking differently, like,
right,
you can be lazy, it's just you have to, um you just gotta be smarter,
right.
and that's like, the people who are the laziest are generally not, for lack of better words, the most, cunning when it comes to strategizing how they're gonna run their business.
And how to use their time.
Yeah, goes back to that employee mindset, that time management thing, right?
Time management. That's always key. You're not getting any more time, right? So you gotta learn how to use that time better.
Yeah, because if you're going at this alone, right? Just being completely honest with you, the place I see most people get stuck is like $3,000 to $5,000 a month in
Mm,
their business income, right? Because like if you don't know how to price it correctly, means you're probably pricing anywhere between like 100 to about $300 per month on average. You might get one client that's paying you like 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand a month,
mhm.
but the majority of clients are gonna be right around that $300 to $500 per month mark,
Right,
right?
right,
Now, when you do that, if you only have, let's say, 10, let's say 10 hours to 15 hours a week, you're gonna get capped right there,
right,
right? But usually the people who need to make more than that, they're making anywhere between like, $7,000 to $10,000 per month at their job, right? Anywhere between like 80,000 to about 135,000 per year, especially in the accounting field.
mhm.
So with $3,000 to $5,000, nowhere near enough for them to be able to quit their job because on average their bills might be between like 3,000 to like 7,000 per month.
Right,
So already operating at a net loss.
right,
So they just kind of get capped there versus when they join the mentorship program, like the reason why people are able to grow so much faster is because we show them how to expand their capacity
right,
and how to take on those better quality clients so that every time they get another client, they're picking up, $500 to $5,000 a month.
mhm.
So when they get that client for $1,000 a month and then another one for like 3 grand a month, now it's really easy for them to hit their revenue goal, but they still have a lot of time left over. So
Right,
they actually have the ability to get
right,
to 8,000, 10,000 per month, which is generally enough for someone to quit their job, get back an additional 40 hours per week, and now they can get to that 15, $20,000 per month mark.
right.
Right.
Absolutely. Time management.
Yeah. So it really comes down to like yeah, it just comes down to that time management, really just understanding there's no right time, understanding procrastination is not your
Is
friend.
a dream killer.
Yeah, it's like I actually like it too when people like come on the phone and like they're like ask like I think I had this one person come on the phone for the mentorship program and he was like it was very weird. It was like I'm slightly losing my train of thought, but it was like the person came on and the person like acted like he knew a lot of stuff. It was very weird because it's like, well, number one, why are you getting on this call?
Mhm.
Number two, if you really knew this much, why are you not really doing
Why aren't you doing the 30,000 a month right now?
and not only that, but it was just kind of like it was like a weird mixture of like procrastination, um, a lot of ego, and there was something else, but I can't remember exactly what it was. It was maybe it'll come back to me in a minute, but what was I talking about before I said that? Before I talked about that today.
About the dream killers. That time is a procrastination is a dream killer.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And it was just so many like layers of procrastination, like just all these different things that were kind of like holding the person back.
Mhm.
And it's just like you're generally not gonna be equipped to do these things yourself,
Mm,
right? It's always funny whenever I hear someone saying who's like been stuck, saying that they're going to solve this problem. It's like, okay, well, you've been dealing with this for a long time,
right,
right? And if you don't do something to make a change,
right.
like a drastic change to have that catalyst to go and really change the situation, you're gonna be in the same place.
Insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Yeah, and that's a lot of like overconfidence on your spot. Do you really think that you're just going to figure it out? Number one, you are highly, highly, highly overestimating your staying power.
Mhm.
Most people don't understand. If you start a business or if you start anything, if you start learning how to do like karate, you start learning how to knit a scarf. If you're not seeing progress within 3 to 6 months, 90%
You're
of
gonna
people
get
are
discouraged.
they're discouraged. They are not doing this thing ever again.
Right.
Right? And they're like, starting business just isn't for everybody. It's hard to start a business. Like that's where you get a lot of those people who say like starting a business is risky. It's the
Mhm.
ones that tried to figure it out on their own. They didn't really have the skill set or the right expectations of what it actually took to get there. Because it's growing a business and being successful in business is a lot different than what everyone expects it is.
Mhm.
Right? You think
Absolutely.
you're just gonna start it, you're gonna put up a website, you're gonna get hit by this wall of like people who are interested. That's not how it happens, right?
Right.
You have to go and create that wall of people to go. And when you're doing a business like this, where you're getting monthly clients, it's not like it's this high. It's almost like remember with the art fair. Her husband does a lot of like art fair stuff, and when you're selling like these lower dollar amounts, then it's almost like a table rush where all these people are like buying. It's very high frequency. By the end of the day, you're making 1,000, 2,000. Versus when you start selling those higher dollar amount, kind of like art sculptures, it's maybe one, two, maybe three people the whole weekend that are interested in buying your piece, but you end up making, five, 10, $15,000 for those three.
Absolutely.
Right. So when it comes to the accounting firm, it's not like you're gonna get hit by this huge kind of table. It's more of a consistent kind of growth pattern that
Right.
grows. But if you don't know that and you think you're gonna get this table rush within 2 weeks of signing up,
Right.
after 3 months of no one coming and no one wanting to work with you, you get
Right.
really
Discouraged.
discouraged, right? And that goes back to that employee mindset
Yep.
because you go back to what's easy, what's safe,
Yep.
and you're still there, 5, 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. So, hopefully you guys learn this. Hopefully you got a little bit of like understanding about this stuff, right? Just absorb as much information you can around these topics so you can grow. Whether it's, this channel is the kind of like joint channel. You watch my channel, it's like a million videos on like marketing, growing your business. Um, take some kind of action, do something different.
Right.
Go and learn. Go and learn. You don't have to start this business full time. Just start part time. Just get started. Okay. And if you want some help, maybe in watching this stuff, you're just like, I'm tired of trying this out of my own. I want to go make some money. I want to go and change my lifestyle. Go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with either myself or with Sharon to see if the mentorship program could potentially be the missing link or a good fit for you and your goals. Right? It's going to give you the shortest time period to your goals. And if you're not a good fit, like you're gonna be really honest, just be like, hey, I don't think this is gonna really work for you. Here's something else you can do in the right direction. But if we do think it is the right fit, you think the timing is good, we can just get started right then and there. We can onboard you, we can get you moving towards your goals. Okay. So hopefully have a great rest of your day. My name is Bryce. This is
Sharon?
and we'll talk to you guys soon. Okay. Have a great rest of your evening or day.